The theme this year for Stuco is Own It. We're taken from Earn It to Own It.
Oh,
What do you think that means? How do you think it's different than Earn It? How is Own It different?
earn it means that you have to work hard to achieve something. And own it means once having achieved it, have confidence and control what you have achieved by continuing to do it.
I love it. Thank you.
So own it to me means that you take ownership of every action, whether good or bad. If it's bad, you take ownership of it and you find a way to correct it. If it's good, you own it, but you look for ways to get better as well.
In an athletic sense, I feel like own it means you go out there on the court, the field, wherever you're at, and you show everyone that you own the game. You know what you're doing, you're intelligent, you're athletic, you're confident.
You so I'm gonna kill you.
Come
I'm
on.
not even in high school anymore.
Hey.
Why are you okay?
What does own it mean to you?
Own it means to own up to your mistakes and what you did good.
Alright.
Now let me be in peace and watch the sunlight turn pretty. Stop it.
What does own it mean to you?
Own it to me means kind of like owning a goat or a cow. You know, when you have a goat or a cow, you have to make sure you feed it. You got to take care of it. You got to love it. You got to name it. You got to make sure that it's you know, going to be alive and happy, and so you're responsible for it. But you can't force it to eat. You can't force it to do things. And so it has responsibility. I have a responsibility. Owning it is understanding what your role is in the situation and what you can change to make it better.
When you tell me own it, my first thought kind of goes toward like just whatever you are, be it, and don't have regrets about it. Just do what you can and give maximum effort.
I think taking responsibility for your actions, being accountable for them.
Thank you. Anything to add to that?
That's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know what the kids think it is, but that's what, especially in our line of work, that's what it is. Taking responsibility for what we do right and wrong.
So I've seen a lot of videos lately of kids complaining about they felt like they did everything that they were asked and it's not working out for them. And my advice would be that if you don't like something in your life, you're in charge of yourself. And every good and bad thing that's in your life is a choice that you've made. And so you have the ability to make your life the way that you want it to be. And so own it and make the choices that are going to make you the happiest.
So what does own it mean for you?
Okay, I'll give you an example. 2 years ago, I fell and I injured my knee. And I had to have surgery, although not a knee replacement, arthroscopic surgery, which is less invasive, but anyway. And it took 1.5 years for that knee to get cured, or fixed. And I'm still limping around. It's still not 100%. So I had to own the fact that I'm handicapped. And just this past week, I took a trip to Connecticut to see my family. And when I got to the airports, it was obvious I wasn't going to be able to walk around these big airports. So I had to own the fact that I'm handicapped and ask for a wheelchair to get around in all the airports that I visited. And there's about 4 airports. So that was something I had to own up. Sometimes we have to own things we don't really want to, but it's good for us. It was really good. And I met so many nice young people like yourself who wheeled me around all these airports. And they were a fascinating group from all over the world, Egypt and South America and Indian reservations. So I got a lot out of it. So just by owning up to the fact that I'm handicapped, I need help, was good for me. I didn't want to do it, but I did it. And sometimes we do have to own up to stuff that necessarily aren't pleased with, but it's good for us. Especially if it's God's will for us, huh? God's will. It's important to do God's will. Sometimes it's humbling, but it's good to be humble.
Very true.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming by.
So what does owning it mean to me? That means if you own it, it's yours. You take responsibility for it. And if you have success, you get that. My guys out at work, when they own it and they have successes, that's their success. But when they have some failures, we all share in that failure. So if you own it, it's yours.
So to own it, that is to take on personal responsibility for whatever it is you're talking about.
Take responsibility. Don't blame anyone else when something doesn't go your way. And be proud of who you are and what you do.
Wait, you have to let me prepare for this. It's on the spot. Own it means that sometimes you make dumb decisions, but you gotta own it and then do better.
Beat that, Bella.
Well, I agree with that, but it's like, yeah. Well, when you're doing something, like, whether you mess up or you do good, like, you should own it. Like, if you did something, like, own up to it. Or, like, yeah, if you did something bad, own up to it. Like, don't just stay in the dark about it. Like, maybe you and your friends did something stupid on the weekends and at the school, and they're like, who did it? And you just kind of, you just have to own up to it and be like, okay, yeah, it was me. Or maybe you did something really good and they're just like wanting to give you recognition. I mean, also it's good if you don't want the recognition, but like, own it. Like, if you did something, own it.
Being humble enough to change, being resilient enough to take criticism and to say, okay, maybe I messed up, I need to change this and do better. And not beating yourself up, but just saying, I'm gonna own it, and then I'm gonna improve and be better.
Perfect.
It means that I'm going to accept responsibility and accountability for whatever the task or assignment is.
Jordan, what does own it mean to you?
Own it means to me to take responsibility for the good and the bad that happened, and probably to be a force to change things if there are things you don't like.
It means to take responsibility for your choices, your actions, your thoughts, everything that you do. Be accountable, take responsibility. If you screw up, fix it, and go on.
Own it means to be 100% accountable for yourself. Do your work. When you make a mistake, own up to it, and become a better person.
What does own it mean to you guys?
Own it?
Yeah.
Wait, I think I saw.
Yeah.
I saw videos. The last one was like earn it, right?
Yes. This is own it. How's it different? What's it mean?
It's like if you suck at something, you just own it. And it's like, no, I don't care. And like it's also in sports. You don't kiss up to the other team because you're a Redskin. You're not a Cougar. You're not an Elk. You own it.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say you don't whine and complain and say it was the refs when you lose. You own it. But no, you're like, you don't kiss up to the other team. Okay, what were you gonna say?
When I hear own it or like own someone, I think dominate.
What does own it mean to you?
So when I think about owning it, it's not always just the good, but the bad. At this point in your guys' life, you got to own the bad along with the good, because it's pretty much on you guys. So the only thing I say is own the good with the bad and learn from it.